Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome. It's your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. I want to welcome you back into the Mvskoke Media Studios this week as we get ready for this week's show. And we're so excited about 2017, the year turning over, and I hope a lot of you out there are having a good one so far. A lot of things to look for in Indian country as we transition from one executive to the next with the United States government. Many things happen at the top that have to do with Native Americans. So here at Mvskoke Media, Native News Today, of course, I'll be reporting on some of these things throughout the year, and hope that you stay with us as we have all the information that you may or may not need pertaining to some of the things that will affect Indian country and some of the tribes as we go from one executive to the next. So it should be a great year here at Native News Today, and we want to just get everything kicked off for 2017, making sure that you have all the information you need. And that's why we do what we do here at Native News Today. We want to start things today on a somber note, though. Robert Floyd, the older brother of James Floyd, our principal chief at the Mvskoke Creek Nation, passed away this past Monday, and he has lots of family, lots of extended family and friends out there that are feeling this loss this week, and we want to send out our condolences to them and just our prayers and our well wishes. That's a tough thing to go through, and Robert Floyd was his name, but a lot of people knew him as Sonny. A lot of people from the Oklahoma City area. He was involved in so much different things Native American wise in the Oklahoma City area, really, for everything from the All Indian softball tournament up there to sobriety powwows, things like that. Him and his wife worked on together. So it's really a big loss for that family and a lot of the Oklahoma City Indian community as well in that area for Robert Sonny Floyd to pass on. So we want to send our well wishes out there to the entire Floyd family, as well as our principal chief, James Floyd, his brother, on the passing of Mr. Floyd. So as we get past that, we do have a job to do here at Native News Today, and that is covering information, things that are happening in our tribal government. And this week, our one focus of this episode is going to be looking at the legislative part of that government and how it's working right now with a case that we've been following at Mvskoke Media for a couple months now. A citizen filed suit against the Housing Authority and the nation. We had coverage of that. He's been talking with Mvskoke Media since the suit was filed. So if you go back to our website, look at some of the archives of the paper, you can follow this story too. But it's a citizen with the Housing Department. Now he has brought the case to the district court, and it has been thrown out of the district court by way of sovereign immunity. That has been the explanation for throwing that case out. The citizen did not feel he had any other recourse but to come in the press and tell his story, and we have that for you from earlier this week. And now welcome into the studio with me, Mvskoke Creek Nation elder, citizen, and veteran, Mr. Barney Ingram. Thanks for being with us here today, Barney.
It's my pleasure, my pleasure.
So, of course, us here at Mvskoke Media, we've been following your situation regarding your propane tank and the problems that it's causing you with the boundaries of your land, the problems you've had with Mvskoke Creek Nation Housing, which, of course, resulted in a lawsuit against the Housing Department and the Mvskoke Creek Nation via the Principal Chief's office. Now, the latest development is the dismissal of your suit from the district court, Judge Bigler there. Just start off, Barney, where does this leave you now?
Well, it leaves me, in a couple of months, I'll not be able to get any propane. And I know, and God knows, they built my house in the wrong place, but for some reason, they have nothing to gain from me, I guess, or whatever. They're going to show the tribe that they're doing their job. But my house is built in the wrong place, and I have a chain link. My neighbor put up a chain link fence now, and makes it very obvious that my house was built in the wrong place because of there's not 10 foot between me and the fence. The chain link fence is actually leaning on my propane tank. When they delivered the propane through social services, they said they'll honor that check. And the guy comes out and says he almost didn't give me any because of the chain link fence actually touching my propane tank. He said, good lightning strike. And then he said, Barney, it'll blow up, you know. But I can't convince the chief, the judge. I found out that he's up for nomination again next month, so I know where that's going. And I supported our chief, hoping that his heart was right with the people, and he wanted to do the right thing and help our people. But it seems a lot of people are having a hard time getting to even talk to him. Other people talk for him.
Have you talked to him yourself on this issue?
I went to talk to him, and of course he was out, you know, and I haven't literally sat down. I have sat down and talked with him, but he never said one word. He let Alvin Bucktrot do all the talking. He let Second Chief Hicks do all the talking. And it was him I went to talk to because, you know, every man wants to leave something for his child. And the way it is, I asked him to just come out. I left word for him to come out and look at my situation, and he would understand that my house was moved in a location other than we designated to build it. And when they moved it north, they put it on another lot. They resurveyed it, put a dog leg in there, allowing room for my house. And they didn't allow a whole lot of room at all, you know. And I was hoping to get some justification. You know, if this was in another court, a Stehetke court, somebody'd be sued big time. I think my bottom line is and I know they're not going to do it, but I feel like they owe me a home, a move-in ready home, because I'm almost 70 years old, and that I lived up there happily until all this come about. I knew it was wrong, but the neighbor, we just let it go. He said, we'll get along, it's all good. Well, a new woman comes up there and she builds a chain link fence, and her driveway is, they say, well, she has to have a right of way. Well, I give her a right of way, but give her the right of way and stop driving through my front yard, because the deal was that her right of way would go further east, and that ain't happening. I was told that it wasn't going to happen, and I was told that I wasn't going to get another house. I was told that the tribe's not going to buy my house back, and next month I'm going to be without propane, and I just wish somebody would. I'll know where their hearts is next month. After this comes out, you'll know where our chief's heart is. And we'll know what he's all about. And like I said before, if you're not here to help the Creek people, then what are you doing here? And I honestly don't expect them to do a thing about it because they've nothing to gain by helping me. And that's what it's all about nowadays.
Let's go back to when you actually had, let's go back to when the propane tank was first put in the area that it is right now. Whose call was that? And at that time, was it seen as that would be a suitable place for it?
Well, it would have been if they'd have built the house where it was supposed to be built. Now they put the propane tank up, and then now they moved my house up just right next to the propane tank. The highline wires were already up, but like I say, if they built my house where they were supposed to, did what they were supposed to say they were going to do, I wouldn't be in this situation right now. But as it is, I don't know what to do. I've got a letter right here that says they can no longer, this is not just from Wyoming Pro, it's from the district propane manager. They can no longer deliver me propane due to the situation, the position, and the highline wires, and now the chain link fence actually touching the propane tank. You know, couldn't you give me an inch? You know? But to move, now you can't move my propane tank out because of the fence. You can't move it down the line because of the highline wires. Can't move it across the road because I'm not going to drive across that pipe tubing every day, smash it flat, and cause an explosion. And right now, honestly, I supported this. I supported Chief Floyd, thinking, let's go in there and get this right. This guy's been fighting with this for years. Let's do the right thing. It seems to me like they'd rather spend $400,000, improve, and not admit they're wrong, when all they have to do is just say, look, Barney, we have a house in inventory. Go pick one, and we'll, you know, it's not like I want another house. They can have my house, the land it's on. I'll sign it back over. Things are happening in the next 2 or 3 years where they'll reap the benefit when the city comes through there and puts in a street, you know. But until then, I'm without propane. I can't even I can't take my truck and drive around my house because my backyard is just that small. And when people see the pictures of this, they're going to understand what I'm talking about. But I honestly got to say, there's a lot of people out there following this situation, and they're getting very upset and disgruntled about it themselves. You know, along with the other stuff that, I don't know, it's none of my business, stomp down, whatever, you know. But I just always hoped in my heart that the chief had it was in his heart and best to help the people, you know. And he's been in a year and I've yet to see him do it.
We talked a little bit on who you had talked with regarding the situation, and I know that you had gotten some resistance previously from the previous directors, the interim director at Housing, Mr. Bucktrot. You said now that he is no longer the director at Housing, it's Samuel Whitlow. Have you had any dialogue with Sam Whitlow?
No, because I talked to the second chief, and he said, why don't you go talk to Sam? And I said, quote, unquote, I said, second chief, Sam's going to go, well, let me look at it. I'll get back with you. He's going to go ask the chief, what should I do? And the second chief tells me, he says, quote, unquote, well, Barney, how do you think I feel? I've got to do the same thing. And I said, well, then what do we need y'all for if the chief's making all the decisions? And like once again, I supported him as a chief and as a friend and stuff, but it's pretty obvious that they're not my friend, and I just prayed that he would come in and say, let's do the right thing with this guy and get him, situated like he should have been years ago. But I've been fighting with this, and I can't go away because everybody wants to leave their son something. And now, the way it looks, I have nothing to leave him, And I've talked to my council people. We're going to do this. We're going to talk to them, and I've never heard a word from them. And Jason, these people think that they forget that they have to be reelected sooner or later. And then they're going to come around and go, ain't I a good guy? Vote for me. And people, don't take the Creek citizens for granted. They're not dummies. They see what's going on. They see what people's doing. And they don't forget. Indian people do not forget, That's one thing I've learned. What you did to them 3 years ago, they will remember it, And it could, he could really make himself look, look good in the eyes of the citizens by doing the right thing. All he had to do is just do the right thing. He could say yes. It's up to him. It was him. Just yes. Let's get this taken care of with him.
Yeah, because you several times and on record have said that Chief Floyd was nowhere to be found when this all started. It really wasn't his doing when it all started. No. But as the chief, you feel that it's a Creek Nation issue to fix.
It's housing made the mistake. And not Sam Whitlow, not the chief, not anybody sitting right now caused this problem. I've been fighting with it for years, way before they come along. And but I thought maybe I said, well, I've confronted George Tiger with it 100 times, and it was just like, push him under the carpet, he'll go away. That's the standard policy. Keep saying no, they'll go away. But I ain't going away. I'm not going away because I've been wronged. And like I say, in any other court, somebody done been sued big time. And to tell me that I can't sue the tribe, that's totally false. There's people in Washington that's even called and said that's wrong. I don't know who started that, but yes, you can. Why do we have the judicial system if we can't use it? So you think I'm at my wit's end, but I'm not. I'm not going to go away. I'll be back tomorrow because sooner or later I'm going to have some propane, and there's nowhere you can move that tank. Nowhere. Not since that neighbor put up that not a 4 foot, a 6 foot chain link fence, and it just goes past my house and ends. Don't even go anywhere. It's just there, a fence. So I pray that the chief will open his heart up and see that, I'm his chief and I'm supposed to help him. And housing is wrong. They built my house in the wrong place. And now that's what's caused all this problem. And for him, if he won't see it, then I know what kind of heart he has.
You know, recently we talked about the lawsuit earlier.
Right.
And just kind of briefly take us through a few bullet points, if you will, on what got us to the lawsuit.
Okay. LaDonna Northcross sees my situation. She says, "You're right. You do have a bad situation, Barney. This is what we'll do. We'll go have your house, put a price on it. You go find a house." And Stacy Settlemyer said, "If you find a house today, Barney, I will write a check for it." I said, "Let me look around." I went to probably 500 houses. Well, I found one. I called Miss Northcross, and that day she'd been replaced by Alvin Bucktrot, who over the phone, and I have a witness to it, he said, "There's no longer a contract. I tore that up." He said, "You don't have a contract no more. We're not going to buy you a house. We're not going to buy your house. We're not going to give you one." He said, "It's something about, it's just a neighbor's squat." He said, "I know all about your situation." I said, "Well, then what about the driveway?" "Well, I don't know about that." "What about the propane tank?" "Well, I didn't know about that either." You know, that's just a plain putting somebody in a place where they don't know what they're doing. You know, it's just this buddy thing. And, you know, what are they going to do to me? You know, truth's the truth. But the contract, he tore it up, told me he tore it up. And so we'll go to court. And, of course, I asked to talk to Judge Bigger. I said, "Sir, can I say something?" "No." You know, just no. He said, "I make my decision, I'll let you know." And about 3 months later, and $40 maybe, I had to go get my own propane tank and transfer it into my tank to have propane because I'm waiting on him and his decision. I bet you he's got propane. I bet he's warm. And then come find out he's up for appointment next year. Who appoints him? The chief. So, you know, who are we kidding here? You know, that's why the contract got thrown out, because you can't sue the tribe, which is false. So I didn't know what else to do. I said, "Well, they got the fence up. Come out and look at my situation and tell me if I'm lying or not. Just come and look." And I've invited the chief out. I've invited the second chief out. Lucian Tiger won't even make eye contact with me. I've called James Jennings several times. Never called me back. I called Randall Hicks. Never heard back from him. And it's like these guys get these checks and they just quit working for the people. We put them there to help the people and to kind of, I guess, police the administration. But it's just one big ballyhoo, you know, buddy thing, you know. And I know one thing, the Creek citizens have had enough of it. And I think come election, they're going to state their opinions real strong. You know, and once again, I said, if Mr. Floyd wants to do the right thing, you know, it couldn't hurt him, because at the moment, he's not on the, you know, top of the friendly list of the tribal citizens. but I'm not going away.
Well, there's the citizen, Barney Ingram, talking about his case, his issue with the Mvskoke Creek Nation and the Housing Authority. And we, as Native News Today and really Mvskoke media in general, it's our job when a citizen comes to us and feels he needs to use the press to get his words out there, that we do that. But it's also just as equally as important to get the whole story. So we want to get it from him as well as from the chief's side, from the Mvskoke Creek Nation side, and from that administrative side. So we reached out to Mvskoke Creek Nation PR, public relations. At this time, we did not receive, by Wednesday is when we have not received word on this. If we do receive word before the airing of this show, certainly we'll get it to you on our social media outlets and the website. But as of airtime for Native News Today, or production time, that is, we didn't receive a statement, but we did afford that opportunity. Definitely wanted to make sure that we could get every side of this. That's our job here at Mvskoke Media, to get every single aspect, every single bit of commentary that we can get on an issue like this. So wanted to let you know that we made sure and did that. Also, to let you know that we did film that interview with Mr. Ingram on Wednesday of this week. So anything that has happened since then to now, Saturday, will be found on our website, will be found on our Facebook pages, Mvskoke Nation News. You can go to mvskokemedia.com as always. We have everything on this case. We have the beginning story that first officially made it a story. We have the documents to support everything, which are the lawsuit itself. We have a letter from Mr. Ingram himself, as he said in the interview, from the propane tank, and we have a letter of dismissal, everything. We have all of it, and it's all there on mvskokemedia.com. Every resource you need to follow this story and follow along with it is right there on our website. So go, and if you want to follow this more, you have everything you need right there on that great spot, as well as our social media sites. Don't forget about those. Well, we have a great few weeks lined up coming up on the show. Lots of things we're going to be getting to, lots of exciting things. Our story packages will return next week. We'll have a few things that we can't wait to show you, including a royalty here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, a junior Miss Mvskoke Creek Nation, doing wonderful things nationwide and at her school, her respective high school. So can't wait to tell you that story, as well as some other exciting things and some openings that are coming up that we're really, really pumped up about. And a lot of year-end reviews with some of our agencies out there. I know a lot of you want to hear what One Fire Holdings is up to, what's MNBE doing, what's Mvskoke International having to do this first month as they get all their financials from last year together. So we'll have it all for you coming up on these next few episodes. It's been a great treat having you this week. You all have a great one, and we'll see you next Saturday, same time, same place.